Hello, my friends. In case you don't know, but Juno's like my little baby. She's my little baby. She lets me do whatever I want. Right, girl? Sometimes we like to dance. She says, Mom, I'm a little smushed. A little smushed, but there's my cutie pie. Look at that. See, she thinks she's a small dog, don't you? And you really enjoy dancing with me. You ready? Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. You see how she's wagging her tail? She loves this stuff, don't you? You love spending time with Mama. You love it. So, I hope you get to spend a lot of time with a fur baby. This is my fur baby. She's so adorable. Hopefully, eventually, you guys will all get to go and say hello to her. But, of course, Juno's still working on her New Year's resolution, trying to get 5 treats a day. Did you come up with any more? She says no. She says, but I will sit for you. I'm a really good girl. Juno, stay. Oh, look at that. Okay. Look at that. Such a good girl. Gotta take a little bit for her to find the other one. Kind of went somewhere. See how good her nose smelling nose is. Maybe she's gonna find it. Maybe. Oh, can you find it? Who knows? Who knows? All right, so my friends, we are going into our next way to add. It's gonna be jumping on a number line. Now I do have to say that out of all of our strategies, this one is the hardest for our friends. This one is hard. It's a little tricky. So we already learned how to do it with base 10 pieces, how to add doing that. We know how to do expanded form now, where you break up the number and then you add your ones and then your tens. This is our number line. Now, in order for us to really know number lines, this is kind of new for us. Now, what you have to understand is a number line has these arrows. These arrows are there because it goes on forever. Could keep on going on either way. Now, a lot of times I like to ask my friends, what is the largest number I can get to? Because a lot of times we look at 0 right here. What's the largest number I can get to? Actually, it's an 8 sideways, and it stands for infinity. Now, infinity is the largest number, which really means we can go as far as we want over there. You can go so long that you'll get old and gray before you ever get that far if you start counting now. All right, and then a lot of times we like to think zeros in the middle, but really zeros wherever. We can just pick up our number line and we can go. Now, have you ever owed your brother or sister some money? Have you ever heard your parents say, we don't have any money? A lot of times if they spend any money, you get into what's called negative numbers. It means you owe money. Now, do you know what our smallest number we can get to? Actually, negative infinity. It's that 8 sideways. Negative infinity. So this number line is massive. It could take up the entire school. It could take up all of Tumwater. That's how big a number line is. It goes on and on and on. Now, the reason that jumping on a number line is hard is you need to have a hundreds chart in your head. So if I'm over here and I say, oh, here's the number 65. I want to add a 10. 75, add another 10, 85, 95, 105. If you can't quickly from any number add 10, you got to work on that, because let's look at another one. Let's go with the number 42. Let's add another 10, 52, 62, 72, 82, 92, 102. Now, if you guys notice something over here, whenever I'm adding tens, what do you notice? You notice what stays the same? Our ones. So in order for us to get really good at jumping on the number line, we have to know that when we're adding by tens, our ones are going to stay the same. Okay, same over here. Do you see how over here I have the same number in my ones place? In order for us to do that, if you're at the number 24 and I tell you to add 10, I don't want to see you actually add 10 with your fingers. I want you to immediately be able to say it's 34. If not, you need to practice that with your family, being able to add and subtract. You need to get this out, this hundreds chart, and you need to really make sure that you're getting this number chart in your brain. Because if you can't do this quickly, then you're going to need to practice this. Now, if you look at my tens are changing, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. They're growing by one each time because that's how, because each time I was adding tens. So this should be easy for us. If this is easy, the number line's going to be easy for us. If this is hard for us, the number line's going to be hard. Now, when I teach this in class, I get some kids that just never get this, okay? Keep trying it. Keep trying it, but this can be really tricky for kids that can't do this, okay? But keep trying. You can even get out like pretzels and M&Ms or raisins, and you can try doing it that way. Sometimes you need more of that visual way of doing it. But we need to know how to do the number line because we're going to use that a lot for the rest of our careers in school. Nice long time. All right, so let's go start off with this wonderful number line. Now, if I had the number, I'm going to start easy, and then I'm going to get a little trickier, okay? Now, today our work's going to be pretty easy, but because I want us to just get some practice with jumping on the number line, but then it's going to get a lot harder. So if we had the number, let's say 50 plus 30, okay? If we have the number 50 plus 30, I know there's no 1, so it's not that tricky. Now, in our number line, we start with the biggest number. So which number is bigger, 50 or 30? It's 50. And I always like to start over here, all the way to my left, because when I add, is my number going to get bigger or smaller? It's actually going to get bigger. Because 50, and I know I can add these by tens, but we're trying to get a good practice. So now what's going to happen is, do you see how I put a dot and I put a 50 right here? You want to put the number you're starting with. There has to be a couple things in order for us to do our number line correctly. Okay, so now I'm going to jump by tens because I don't have any ones. I'm going to jump by 10. So 50 plus 10 gives me 60. And then I'm going to count again, and I'm going to jump another 10. 60 plus 10 is going to give me 70. Do you notice? Do you notice how I have this number down here and I have how much I'm jumping up on top? You have to have that. I get a lot of friends that want to leave this off or they want to leave this part off. You can't do that, okay, for a number line to really make sense. So if we're at 70, I want to add 10 and I get to 80. Okay, so now let's look at this. 50 plus 30. Did I add? I started at 50. Did I add 30? Did I add 30? Let's see. I have 10 plus 10 plus 10. What is 10 plus 10 plus 10? 3 tens, 30. So I got there. And when you get to your answer on the number line, you always circle it so the person knows that you're there. Okay? So this right here is easier. I'm going to try another one just so we get some practice, okay? Oh, I don't even think I have to erase it. I can just go down here. Let's get this cool green line. Probably isn't going to show up as cool on yours, but let's go and do that. So if I have the number, let's go with, let's go with 40 plus 70. Oh, do you see this? This is getting a little bit trickier, okay? 40 plus 70. I know there's still no ones. There's just tens. So do I start with 40? Is that my biggest number? A lot of times people want to start with this one. It is not my biggest number. My biggest number is 70. So I'm going to come on over here all the way to my left, and I'm going to be moving to my right. Because as I jump, my number is getting bigger. So did you see how I have my dot and I have my 70? Now I'm going to count by tens. So I'm going to do my first jump of 10. 70 plus 10 gives me 80. Oh, 80 plus 10 gives me 90. You see this? I'm jumping by 10. 90 plus 10 gives me 100. Now let's see how much I've jumped. 10, 20, 30. I started at 70. Have I jumped 40 yet? I'm only up to 30. I got to keep going. Okay, so now I'm at 100 and I'm going to add 10. And And this is where I get people having problems with the number line, is they think that 100 plus 10 is 101, okay? But is this a 1 or is it a 10? It's a 10. So if you write 101, then you get the wrong answer because you added a 1 when we were trying to add tens. So now if you look over here, what is 70 plus 40? It's 110, because look, I got 70 and then I added 10, 20, 30, 40. So 70 plus 40 is 110. I'm going to do one more, and this one's going to get a little trickier, and it's going to kind of show us what we're going to be focusing on tomorrow. All right, let me get this one out of the way. Let me draw another. I like this green. Now this is where it's going to show you that you need to be able to pick any number and be able to start adding by 10. Because today, the number we're going to do is it's going to be, let's go with 64 plus, let's go with 50. Okay. Ooh, which one's bigger, 64 or 50? 64. I'm going to put it right here and we're going to do it. Now since we're adding, we're going to go to the right because we're going to get bigger. We are moving up our number line. Eventually we're going to subtract with our number line and then we're going to move to the left. Because when you subtract, you pay people and you lose money. Like I want to buy that Pokemon card, so I got to give you $10. So I had 20, gave you 10, so it gets smaller. But for this, we're adding, so we're going to get bigger, okay? So we got 64 plus 50. So this is, I got to be able to count by, I don't have any ones, so I'm going to start counting by tens. So I got a 10. So 64 plus 10. What's going to not change? My ones are not going to change because all I'm adding 0 ones and just a 10. So I'm going to go to 74. If you can't do this, you need to practice because this is where I get friends having trouble. All right, and then I'm going to jump again because I got to jump 50 times. Well, not 50 times, 5 times because I got 5 tens. So I'm going to count by 10 again. So 70 plus 10 is going to give me 84. Because did you notice how my ones the whole entire time are staying the same? Because I'm just adding a 10. So then I'm going to do another jump and it's going to be a 10. And I'm going to go to 94 because 84 plus 10, the only thing that changed was my 10. My 1 stayed the same. So now let's try again. Okay, I'm going to do another jump of 10. 94 plus 10, this is where I get friends that make mistakes. If you need to get out this one, we gave you one that has 120, we'll help you out, okay? I get a lot of friends that have trouble with this. But if you looked right over here, when I was at 95 and I added 10, did you see how it changes? Because 90, what comes after 90? 100. So I need to get to 100, but I'm not at 90. I'm at 94, so I need to return what? I need to return my 4 to the ones place because that never changed anything. That I never had any ones that would have changed it. Now do you notice how I did that other jump right there? Now I got 10, 20, 30, 40. Have I gotten up to 50 yet? Not quite. So 10, so 104 plus 10. This one's really easy because do you see I have no tens. Now I'm going to go add a 10 right there. My 100's not going to change. It's just going to be my tens this time. So I'm going to go and I'm going to add this 10 right there to my tens place. So I get 114. So 64 plus 50. Let's count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So 64 plus 50 is 114. Do you see how each time I'm circling my answer, you need to make sure that you are circling your answer as well. So now we're going to get into something that's really tricky. We're getting on this jumping on a number line. Okay, this packet, now this is really tricky, I have to say, so you might need some support. We today are going to do pages number 1 and 2. We're only going to do 2 because I want us to get good practice with this. So now I'm over here and I'm looking at page 1, and I'm going to do the second one, which is 60 plus 30. Now if you guys notice, they're already giving you this first dot. I'm gonna make it a little bit darker, and I'm looking at 60 and 30. Which one's bigger? 60. I'm gonna start right there. Now I need to make a jump. Do you see that jump I'm making? It's a jump of 10. I'm gonna have to make 3 jumps of 10 to make 30. So 60 plus 10 gives me 70, okay? Now 70 plus 10 gives me 80. 80 plus 10 gives me 90. So let me see, I have 60. Do you see how I started with 60? And I added 10, 20, 30. Did I do that 60 plus 30? I did, because these numbers right up on top add up to 30. So then my answer is 90. Do you see how I'm circling my answer right there? You want to make sure that you do that. Now you're going to do these 2 problems on this side plus the 4 on the back. Now I know this is not that tricky, but I want us to really get the idea. I need to see on you doing your jumping on your number line, I have to see these numbers up on top, and I have to see these numbers up on bottom. Okay, these have to be there. And you can also write the number right there as well, the answer. So you need to make sure that you are jumping on that number line. Now, this one on the very back, this one right here, this is going to be the one that you take a picture of, page number 2. Don't you like how they got page numbers? That was a good suggestion from a couple parents. I appreciated that. So once you're done with page 2, take a picture of it. Let me see it. Really make sure you're getting a good idea, because number lines go from being really easy to like super tricky really fast, okay? So make sure you're still kind of practicing your base 10 pieces and doing expanded form, because those were 2. We're going to end up learning 4 different ways, so we're on our 3rd way of learning how to add with regrouping. So, all right, let's get started on that. Have fun.